But it is very interesting seeing WNBA at number one. And again, look, it is the Caitlyn Clark effect. That's the reality of the situation. It is the Caitlyn Clark effect.
How did the WNBA soar to new heights seemingly overnight? Thanks to Caitlyn Clark, the deep-range phenom whose electrifying game and star power are transforming a league into the fastest-growing brand in sports. But can one player truly ignite a league-wide revolution?
Clark effect strikes again, this time catapulting the WNBA to levels they didn't think were possible if we only look back 2 years from now. Caitlyn Clark has put the WNBA number one on Morning Consult's fastest growing brands of 2024.
The WNBA's meteoric rise to being named the fastest-growing company in America this year is a testament to its transformation into a cultural and economic powerhouse. Central to this unprecedented success is Caitlyn Clark, whose electrifying performances and magnetic presence have revolutionized the league's image and reach.
The WNBA has the right to renegotiate in 2028 because it's not just Caitlyn Clark. You have a huge incoming freshman class from college that has huge fan base appeal. And I think that is why I think the WNBA is poised to be a very powerful league, because there's other players that really matter.
Clark's unparalleled ability to dominate on the court, combined with her charisma, has captivated millions, turning casual viewers into dedicated fans and sparking a wave of interest unlike anything the league has ever seen. Clark's influence extends far beyond the hardwood.
2.3 million viewers on a 12 noon game on Father's Day. So what were fathers doing? Fathers were watching a women's basketball game at 12 noon while they were being served eggs and bacon and breakfast in bed.
Her clutch shooting, court vision, and fearless competitiveness have not only fueled record-breaking TV ratings, but also inspired a surge in merchandise sales, social media engagement, and sponsorship deals. She has become the face of a movement, representing the empowerment of women in sports and the limitless potential of the WNBA.
Clark's newest sponsor is getting ahead of the game. She has signed with financial services company Gainbridge. It's one of the top partners for the WNBA team Indiana Fever.
The league has capitalized brilliantly on Clark's star power, leveraging her highlights and personality to energize marketing campaigns, draw sellout crowds, and foster a global fan base.
Caitlyn Clark, she is the first Division I player, and that is male or female, to record 3,000 points, 900 assists, and 800 rebounds. How I think the women's game will grow is if we are invested in individual players first.
Attendance figures are soaring, viewership numbers are climbing, and brands are eagerly investing in the WNBA, recognizing its burgeoning appeal. Clark's influence has also attracted a younger generation of fans, ensuring a vibrant and sustainable future for the league.
Caitlyn Clark arguably is the most popular basketball player, men or women's, in the world right now.
Look what she did for women's collegiate basketball. I mean, I even watched it this year.
This growth underscores the league's evolution into a dynamic business model that merges sports with culture, advocacy, and entertainment. While Caitlyn Clark's brilliance has undoubtedly been a catalyst, the WNBA's strategic vision, innovative marketing, and commitment to showcasing elite talent have solidified its place as a trailblazer in the sports industry. This year, the WNBA isn't just winning games, it's reshaping the landscape of professional sports.
Caitlyn Clark got me to a TV last night. I'd never watched the WNBA draft, and I watched the first 45 minutes of the WNBA draft. You know, you have pulled.
The WNBA's dynamic growth hinges on its ability to celebrate all its stars equitably, yet its treatment of Caitlyn Clark, a transcendent talent and cultural phenomenon, has left many questioning its narrative priorities. Clark, a generational player whose impact transcends the court, became a lightning rod for controversy as fans and analysts noted what appeared to be a deliberate sideline by the league in favor of promoting other marquee stars, such as A'ja Wilson. While Wilson is undoubtedly one of the league's brightest talents, the persistent narrative shaping to prioritize her achievements, allowing animosity toward Clark to fester, undermines the league's commitment to authenticity and inclusivity.
When you're talking about GOATs of the W, I need my name to be up there, at least top 3. Like, that's my goal, is like, I want something like, when you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my name to be on.
The WNBA thrives when it fosters rivalries and competition, but ignoring, or worse, enabling a culture where players are encouraged to target a singular athlete detracts from its mission. Clark endured an onslaught of scrutiny and was the subject of contentious moments on and off the court, with many fans feeling the league turned a blind eye to the way she was treated. Rather than embracing Clark as a transformative figure who brings fresh audiences to women's basketball, the WNBA seemed to overlook her achievements in favor of bolstering its chosen narrative, a move that felt dismissive and even divisive. Oversight isn't just about apologizing to Clark. It's about reaffirming the league's values. Caitlyn Clark deserves recognition as a player who electrifies crowds and elevates the sport, alongside all its greats, including A'ja Wilson. Instead of perpetuating selective promotion, the league should champion all its stars equally, fostering unity among fans and players alike. The WNBA must seize this opportunity to recalibrate its approach, ensuring it nurtures its diverse talent pool without bias. For Clark, and for the integrity of the sport, this reckoning is long overdue. The WNBA appears to be ushering in a new era of marketing brilliance, one that acknowledges the undeniable star power of Caitlyn Clark.
It didn't take long for her. I mean, we all know her personality to just jump right in, and she's such a competitor, wants to win in the worst way. So I always was wanting to talk about, what we were doing and why we were doing certain things. That, this league is so different than anything she's experienced. I mean, this is the best women's league in the world.
As the league readies itself for the 2025 season, Clark's image graces the WNBA homepage in a way that speaks volumes. Historically, the league has taken a more inclusive approach to its promotional efforts, often featuring a broad range of players to showcase the diversity of talent across its teams. But this bold shift in strategy, placing Clark singularly in the spotlight, signals a calculated recognition of her status as the league's main attraction.
The official homepage of the WNBA right now, when they announce this schedule, is a photo of Caitlyn Clark, and that's it. It's only Caitlyn. It's not any other players. It's not any other teams. The fact that they are seemingly leaning into her finally, at the very off the rip, leaning into her, like having her front and center, this is just something that I don't think that we would have seen last season, and I just think it's great.
But more than her statistics, it's her ability to electrify arenas and engage audiences that has made her a household name. Traditionally, the WNBA has leaned heavily on collective representation, emphasizing teamwork and parity over individual stardom. While this approach has fostered a strong sense of community among its core audience, it has also been critiqued for lacking the star-driven narratives that dominate other major sports leagues. By focusing on Clark, the WNBA seems to be embracing a more mainstream marketing model, one that highlights singular brilliance to draw eyes and generate buzz. This decision aligns with how other sports leagues elevate their top players as ambassadors of the game, and it signals a strategic pivot that could pay dividends in expanding the league's fan base.
Caitlyn Clark is obviously an anomaly. Like, she's a superstar. She's going to come in, and I think she's going to have a long, successful career in the WNBA. I think that she's brought a lot of eyes to the game in college.
There is no better time than now. With record-breaking attendance, more media attention, and an expanding social media following, the WNBA is seeing a boom in popularity. By focusing its marketing efforts on Clark, the league capitalizes on the momentum she created during her college years. Her presence creates a smooth transition for her current fan base and attracts new ones by bridging the gap between NCAA basketball and the professional game. Additionally, Clark's attraction goes beyond basketball. She is the epitome of what it means to be a contemporary sports icon, relatable but extraordinary, fiercely competitive but modest, and dedicated to greatness on and off the court. She is the perfect figurehead for a league looking to expand its cultural influence because of her captivating personality and ability to relate to fans.
Caitlyn Clark, she will have a long, illustrious, decorated career where she inspires millions and millions of girls and young women to play a sport that she loves. And the thing that I do like about her, she is a whiner and she is a flopper, is that she wants everyone to play well. And she wants to inspire girls and young women to be awesome basketball players, because that's what every sport needs.
In putting Clark front and center, the WNBA isn't just promoting a player, it's embracing a symbol of its future. This decision also sends a clear message. The league recognizes the value of its individual stars and is willing to adapt its approach to maximize their impact. While some purists might argue that this could overshadow other players, the broader perspective reveals a league evolving to meet the demands of modern sports entertainment. By betting big on Caitlyn Clark, the WNBA is not just seeing sense. It's setting the stage for a transformative chapter in its history. Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, undeniably owes Caitlyn Clark a thank you, perhaps even more than one. Clark, with her electrifying presence and dynamic gameplay, has not only brought a breath of fresh air to the league, but also catalyzed a cultural shift that the WNBA desperately needed. For years, the league faced challenges in capturing widespread attention, battling stereotypes, and competing for viewership in an oversaturated sports market. Yet, in walks Caitlyn Clark, a phenom whose undeniable talent and charisma have redefined what it means to be a women's basketball star.
And while a lot of folks may be hoping superstar Caitlyn Clark can take the WNBA to the next level, it's not all on her. We sat down with the league's commissioner, who's been planning for this moment for years, hoping for just this kind of momentum. And she says this season, which tips off this week, is just the beginning.
Clark's influence extends far beyond her skill set, which is, frankly, mesmerizing. Her ability to sink deep threes with Curry-like precision, her court vision that rivals the best point guards in history, and her unrelenting competitiveness have made her a must-watch player. But it's not just her stats or her highlights that are changing the narrative, it's her ability to create moments. Clark plays with an intensity and swagger that make fans lean forward in their seats, waiting to see what jaw-dropping play she'll pull off next. She's the type of athlete who transcends the sport, the kind people talk about at water coolers, tweet about, and tune in to watch regardless of whether they've ever followed the WNBA before. When Caitlyn Clark steps onto the court, she brings an aura of excitement that hasn't always been synonymous with women's basketball in the mainstream consciousness. She has turned skeptics into believers and casual fans into diehards, and this effect ripples far beyond her own games. By elevating the league's profile, she's given her fellow players a brighter spotlight, proving that the WNBA isn't just worth watching, it's a spectacle in its own right.
Need to call you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version of Caitlyn Clark? I mean, which one is it? Which one is it?
I think I'll just be the female version of Steph Curry.
For Engelbert, this is a godsend. The WNBA has been on a mission to grow its audience and attract new sponsorships, and while incremental progress has been made, Clark represents a quantum leap. She's not just a player, she's a brand, a movement, and a conversation starter. Her mere presence has energized marketing campaigns, filled arenas, and drawn television ratings that challenge the league's historical norms. If Engelbert had been searching for a way to prove the league's potential to investors, broadcasters, and even hesitant sports fans, Caitlyn Clark is the living, breathing answer. Moreover, Clark's impact isn't just confined to the basketball court. She embodies a new era of athletes who are unapologetically themselves, and her authenticity resonates with younger audiences. Her confidence, humility, and charisma have made her a role model for aspiring athletes everywhere. She's shifted perceptions of what women's basketball can be: exciting, intense, and incredibly marketable.
Caitlyn Clark, she's the equivalent of the 1979 Larry Bird. We all know why that game generated so much viewership. But David Stern was so smart that he was like, look, I ain't going to reinvent the wheel. That's where the game of the week came from. Magic wasn't even the best basketball player on his team. That was Kareem, but it was always the Magic and Bird. And I was living in Boston at that time, so I saw the hype around it. And I said, if the WNBA can just follow that blueprint, because now you have it, right? And that 1979 equivalent is Caitlyn Clark.
Engelbert's job as commissioner involves growing the league, ensuring its financial health, and increasing its visibility. Thanks to Caitlyn Clark, many of those tasks just got a lot easier. Whether it's through merchandise sales, social media buzz, or simply ticket revenue, Clark's contribution to the WNBA's growth is already invaluable. Engelbert should not only thank her, but also ensure that the league continues to leverage her influence to secure a brighter future. In the end, Caitlyn Clark has not just saved the league, she's redefined it, reshaping how people perceive the WNBA and women's sports as a whole. Engelbert, alongside everyone who loves the game, owes her a debt of gratitude.
Caitlyn has the ability to make up to $500,000 just in WNBA wages this year. So, of course, they're just looking at a base which is collectively bargained. And actually, it's low because she's the number one pick. She'll make a little more than that. But she also has millions and millions of dollars.
Caitlyn Clark has redefined what it means to make an impact as a rookie in the WNBA, accomplishing feats that no one before her has dared to dream of, let alone achieve. From the moment she stepped onto the court, it was clear that Clark wasn't just here to participate. She was here to dominate. Her unique combination of elite court vision, breathtaking shooting range, and unrelenting competitiveness turned heads immediately. But it was her ability to elevate her game under pressure that truly set her apart. By the end of her rookie season, Clark was not only competing against seasoned veterans, but also often outshining them, making her presence felt in every facet of the game. Her scoring outbursts became must-see moments. Her assists often defied logic, and her leadership belied her age and experience. It wasn't just that she put up numbers, it was how she did it, with a flair, confidence, and audacity that forced the league to take notice. She wasn't afraid to pull up from deep thread impossible passes or take over games when her team needed her most.
Can't even imagine what this past year was like for her. Being pulled in 97 different directions and still having to lift and still having to do her workouts and still having to be Caitlyn Clark on the court. I can't even tell you how amazing what she did this year with all of the distractions she had.
She blends the theatrical flair of Steph Curry with the competitive fire of Michael Jordan, but she's uniquely herself, a player whose every move feels like a highlight waiting to happen. Fans from all walks of life are drawn to her, and with her presence, the WNBA has seen unprecedented growth, becoming the fastest-growing American sports brand in 2023. She's shattered attendance records, driven TV ratings, and sparked merchandise sales that the league hasn't seen in years. Even Reese and Wilson, who have carried the torch with dignity and grit, recognize that Clark's influence extends beyond her numbers. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.